Hi, welcome back to the Jack and Glen channel. I'm Jackie.
I'm my husband, Glenn.
He's my husband, Glenn.
Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews. Tonight, we're reviewing Ready to Love.
Ready to Love.
Ready to Love, and Tommy got some curveballs involved for the P contestants tonight. Tommy throwing curveballs, y'all. He's throwing curveballs.
Yeah, different from before.
Different from before. Let's get started.
Well, I mean, a little bit different.
Yeah.
All right. So, we start with Tommy meeting all the female contestants at the ladies' lounge and letting them know, sometimes you need a reset button.
Yeah, sometimes you need a reset.
And so, the reset button is he's doing a pool party again to bring everybody back together because they've been dating individually and having group dates. And so now is the time to bring everybody together. And he was like, we want you to dive in deep, into the deep end, test the waters, and get to know these here men.
Yeah, and the ladies are excited about that. They're excited at the fact they get to have a pool party. I think it was Sabrina who said there's going to be some estrogen and testosterone going on at this pool party. So she's excited. I can see the men with no shirt on. And so women are excited about this pool party as Tommy's getting ready to throw down and have.
So we see them coming together. One of the little opening scenes is Corey and Mumin taking a little provocative picture. And he talks about the fact that she was one of the first people that he's connected with because we know he went to help her change her tire. Mm-hmm. She had a flat. But he says, I got a soft spot for Courtney. And let's see, he's talking to her and he was like, oh, I heard you tried to say that like you didn't want me seeing anybody else. But she's like, oh, did I? And he was like, well, look, you can't tell me anybody else makes you smile from the inside out as much as me. And she was like, no, nobody makes me smile as much as you. I don't know about all that inside out, like.
Yeah, look, yeah. Corey is he's shooting a shot real hard. I mean, he's in the game. He is ready he wants Courtney. He likes Courtney. They both have that physical attraction thing going on. And we all know Courtney's very sexual. Mm. And Corey's very sexual. So, he's feeling her, she's feeling him. And, he's trying to be romantic and sweet.
Yeah, he said, I'm going to do something special for her tonight. And so, he said, I'm doing it special for her. And then next time around, I'm going to do something to make Mumin feel special. It's going to be her turn.
Yeah, copy paste. That's what he likes to do.
We see Sabrina and Walter flirting in the pool. Talking about opening up and sliding her feet off his shoulders. And in the background, we see Camille and Cornelius. Cornelius kind of laughing at them like, aha, woo, look at them.
Talking about rose petals. She said they open up a little bit. Walter enjoyed her opening her legs up a little bit.
And so we see Camille and Cornelius having a conversation and how they like matched initially and just really vibed off from the jump, and how they had a conversation about boundaries and what respect looks like, and she asked him if he's going to behave himself.
Yeah, you can see that. I mean, to me, she's a little bit she's very possessive. That she's all in with Cornelius. That even when we go back a couple episodes when Cornelius and Courtney were sitting next to each other, and Courtney put her hand on inside of Cornelius' thigh, you see Camille kind of cringe a little bit, like, hey, hold on, this is my man, this is my dude. So she already got her claws into Cornelius, and she wants to make sure that he keeps his claws into her. He doesn't want anybody else there.
Yeah, he tells her, I'm coming full force. She was like, coming full force for who? He says, for you.
Yeah.
I think he didn't really mean that. He just said it.
Yeah, he didn't mean he's smart.
He didn't want to make her mad. But then we see Courtney, like, going around the pool party. She keeps finding these cards. And she said these cards is like someone professing their love for me. And, she was like, I thought it was super cute and sweet. And she's like telling them, like, this is weird. I keep finding these cards. Like, where is this coming from? Do you know who did this? She asks Walter, and Walter says, you know, I think it's Corey. And so we see Corey talking over to the side, you know, like trying to let on like, I wonder who is doing it.
I mean, he's very. I mean, you know, he's being discreet about it.
He's being coy.
Being coy. No one sees him do it, and so she's finding these little notes with her name on it underneath her jacket, underneath her phone, and she's liking it because she says she's a hopeless romantic, and she's on a scavenger hunt, and this is sweet to her.
Then we see Shiloh and Tyrone chatting it up. She talks about how they exchanged numbers after the happy hour, and they've been, you know, chatting a lot since then, but they haven't spent a lot of actual time together, like had dates or whatever. And while they're at the pool party, you know, he shared with her that, well, when we went to deliberations, I said that you could be my wife, and she was like,
yeah, yo, dude, like, I mean,
we're how far in?
We're a couple days in. I mean, days, weeks, whatever the case may be, and you talking about her being your wife. Dude, move fast. I mean, real fast. You know, he kicked Carrie to the side last week, and so now he wants to marry Shiloh this week. A little too fast for me. I mean, it's just quick, and it scared her.
Yeah,
It scared Shiloh. It scared her. I'm not ready for this.
She told me, you know, it sounded sweet, but it was sweet to hear, but it's like, I'm gonna be faithful to my process. It's a process. Like, I'm not gonna get pinned down immediately. And it's like, when I get there, I'm gonna get there. And in her vignette, she's like, you know, it felt good to be chosen and picked, but she felt kind of put on the spot, like, you know, what you got to say about that? And, you know, she was just like,
he expected her to
I'm not there yet.
He expected her to say, yo, I want to marry you too, or I love you too, or I want you to be my wife, my husband as well.
Well, he didn't say I want to marry you. He said she could be my wife.
Yeah, she could be my wife. What that's scary. I mean, it depends on what she heard. You know, he said you could be my wife, but he scared her. It's too quick.
Yeah. In the meantime, we see Tommy show up, and he lets him know it's time for a curveball. That's why I said it's kind of similar to before, because the curveball before was at the beginning on the previous season where they brought KG back.
Yeah.
So that was the curveball. Well, this time he's bringing people in, but it's not somebody that was on a previous season.
That is correct.
So the curveball is, he was like, it's about all about you want to develop something from Ready to Love that's going to stand the test of time and temptation. And so, boom, they adding 2 new singles.
Yep.
And we see Miss Sydney walk in.
Sydney walks in.
She's 33. She's an entrepreneur, and a lot of the guys, Phil was like, woo. Yeah. Frank was like, ah. You know, a lot of the guys was like, okay.
They was excited for it. I mean, Sydney walks in and she brought it. She had a swimsuit on. She brought it. I felt some of the women, we looked at some of the women, it was kind of like, ooh.
I know Camille was like,
yeah.
But the funny part to me was when to see it was like, oh, I got that same outfit. I was like, honey, listen, you know I'm riding with you, sis, but I promise you, it don't look like that on you.
It don't look like that. It do not look like that.
And I'm talking about boobs. You got way more chest than Miss Sis Sydney.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we could beat that deep V at the bottom. I don't know how that would be working.
The midsection ain't where it needs to be neither. I'm
not gonna say, I can't talk about nobody.
I'm not talking about it. I'm just stating the fact that, anyway, we're not talking about anybody. Then my man, then he introduced Sean.
Yeah.
Sean introduced some of the women was feeling Sean.
Zadia and Aisha was like, okay, hello, Mr. Chocolate. Looking good. He's 44. He's one of the older men. He's 44.
And
it's a shame to say. It's a shame to say he's one of the older men, because I'm like, he's really not old.
Right, 44.
I'm not knocking on the door. I am 44. So.
I'm knocking on the door. I'm not there yet, so.
See, you didn't know that, did you? I'm not 44, do I?
You know, so, I mean, and he's a journalist.
No, he's a writer. No, he's an actor. He's an entrepreneur.
No, he has multiple hats.
He's a creator.
Well, they put the subtitle journalist. He do a lot of things. A lot of things. The women joke on that a little bit later.
Tommy says, you gonna have to take the good with the bad now. I understand that the women have the power to eliminate.
Yeah.
So he's like, fellas, don't hold anything back. Phil's thing is, man, all these guys I gotta compete with already, and they on their A game, and I gotta compete with them. And here goes Sean. Like, Sean, you ain't gotta be here. You adding more pressure to me.
You adding more pressure. You ain't been here from the get go, so you adding pressure, brother.
In her little vignette, we see Sydney talking about she's looking for someone that she can have that has truly genuine intents. And actually she said that in the setting was her, Camille, Sean, and Zadia. And so she's talking to Sean. They're kind of having a conversation with the other ladies there, to the point where they were like, "Oh, well, y'all can just talk. Let us move."
Yeah, Zadia, like, y'all can talk. Let me go ahead and move.
He said, "I thought we was all having a conversation."
Yeah.
Because Sydney asked, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Sydney asked, like, when was your last relationship? And he was like, it was pre-pandemic. And like I said, they was talking more to each other. And Zadia said he seemed more interested in Sydney than us.
Yeah, than us. And, and Zadia was like, yo, let me roll. I mean, I can go ahead and bounce, but then Camille said, I ain't worried. I got a boo.
Well, before that, because Camille said, well, why don't y'all two just hook up?
Yeah.
Basically, so it's no interference for what I got going on. Yeah, she said, I guess Sydney said something about him being handsome, and Sean made the comment to her, well, you could call me handsome. She was like, I don't think my boo would like that. And he's like, who's your boo? And she says, oh, you'll find out. You'll see soon enough.
You'll see soon enough. She's committed.
Because her thing is, she said, I'm not going to waste my time with a lot of people. She's like, yeah. He's like, oh, okay, so it's already rubber stamped or whatever. He was like, she said,
That's why she ended up going home.
Yeah, he was like, that's kind of rude.
I
just came into the picture. You can't even feel me out a little bit. Let me feel you out.
She don't understand the game. You got to have multiple people in the show. You just have one person, you're going to get outvoted.
Yeah, which I said, and I know that's the way the show is arranged, but like in real life, the bad part is if you put your eyes on somebody, you focus in on them. That's a good thing. And that's what I think sucks about this show. It's like, are you ready to love? But your ready to love is you got to go through multiple people. But what if I already know that them other people not suiting my fancy? That don't mean I'm not ready to love. That mean I'm not ready to date multiple people.
Or you got to get the group to like, you know what? I see y'all love. I see y'all committed like they did Venetia and Joelle.
And at first they did KG and Naya like that.
Yeah, like we know y'all committed, cool, so we can keep y'all around. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how it plays out for her. So.
Aisha's like, okay, they introduced new people. She was like, my energy didn't change, and she says the new people are there to test people's connection and kind of shake the room up.
Shake the room up a little bit.
So then we see Sydney and Frank talking. They're like, oh hey, hugging each other, and we find out they have mutual friends and lifestyles. That's what Sydney had said. And they talk to each other. It's good to see you. Heard a lot about you. And he was like, it's real easy to be attracted to Sydney because again, they're familiar with each other and
from the club scene.
Yeah, the kind of energy they bring. And Sydney says Frank has a really big personality, which we have seen. And the way he was shaking that cocktail up, I was like, it's so extravagant. It was like a shake weight. Yeah. But he's got a really big personality. She knows him from the nightlife. And they cheers after they have a little conversation to finally meeting each other. Yeah. In person, I guess, like directly. Like it's one thing you see each other, but to actually meet and talk. We see Sabrina chatting with Tyrone. Yeah. And he's like, she's like, we got a lot in common, and she's been enjoying getting to know him. And then he's like, well,
he dropped a bomb on her. He drops a bomb on her. It's like we talked about before we get tired. We talked about putting all your eggs in one basket, and when you just solely committing to one person, Tyrone did that. He told her, look, I know we've been kicking it, we're having conversation, but Shiloh is who I want.
I said she could be my wife.
She could be my wife.
I'm all in on that. And Sabrina's like shocked. She was like, because he and I have had some amazing conversations.
Yeah.
And it's like she had no idea he would get to that point so quickly in the process. And again, like you say, he's putting all his eggs in one basket. And, you know, cutting folks off. She was like, dang, you're not even
giving us a chance. It's quick. Like you cut this you don't even know where this relationship could have gone.
Right.
Or where it could have gotten to. But you nicked that in the bud already. So just to go be with Shiloh.
But, well, I think about it too. Part of probably why he nixed it is, like, Sabrina don't want any more kids. Mm-hmm. We'll find out later with Aisha where she is. And he doesn't have any children. I'm sure he wants to, like, you know, have a family too. So that's probably part of it. But anyway.
But at least give it a chance. I mean, I know you don't want to waste your time, but you never know.
Yeah. We see Corey and Mumin chatting. She talks about the fact that he's a sweet guy when he wants to be. Makes her feel special. And so they had this whole little conversation about hot dogs and do you put grilled or raw onions on it? This might be a make or break thing. I might have to friend zone you.
Yeah, he wanted to fix her a nice hot dog and she couldn't make a decision.
Ha ha ha. You know, with them, you know, relating to each other and at the same time, mind you, this is the same party. He's left all these notes for Courtney.
Hey, he's fully playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to know everybody.
Yeah, we see Sydney having a conversation with Cornelius, asking him, you know, how's the process been or whatever. He's like, it's been intense. You know, have you been nervous? Yeah, I've been nervous. Have you ever been in the bottom? And he was like, not that I know of, but I don't go to the ladies' lounge. So, I mean, I know ain't nobody pulled me to the side.
Yeah, I mean, but, you know, they talk. So he could have got that from Camille. Could have, I mean, from anybody. Anybody say, you know what, man, your name was thrown out there. We got you at the bottom. So, you know, he could have known. Sometimes the guys knew in the last season where they were at in position.
Yeah, but I don't think that was supposed to happen.
It wasn't supposed to happen.
What's happening in the ladies' lounge in the man cave is supposed to stay there.
Yeah, but you had a snitch last year.
Yeah. And it's funny because while they're talking, you know, you could kind of see Camille eyeing. And she was like, you know, I see my boyfriend talking to some other woman, and I'm not pleased.
Well, not only was she eyeing, she was if you go back to that scene, she's walking back and forth in the background, looking like she's just stalking. Like, what you doing? What y'all doing? Mm-hmm. She is stalking him. Like, dog, leave that man alone. And he can feel it on the back of his neck.
Oh yeah, he was like, I see Camille looking. But it's to the point where Mumin is like, hey, you know, come on, you're supposed to talk to everybody. Come on, sis, let's get over here. Whatever.
She was getting warm about that thing.
And so later she talks to Cornelius. Is like, but did you enjoy your conversation? He said, well, I had multiple conversations. And she was like, exactly. Like, you shouldn't have been having multiple conversations. What?
Possessive again. That possessive behavior has to stop. She's been doing it since. Yes, you're kind of all 100% into Cornelius. But guess what? Cornelius is not 100% into you. He's still talking. He's still looking. I think Joel said it last year. They were talking about Venetia being clingy or whatever the case may be. She's clingy. Camille is clingy. I mean, in this game, you gotta understand. In this competition or in this on this show, she gotta understand. He's gonna talk to multiple people. He didn't declare you to be. He didn't say, you know what, you're my number one. We're gonna be boyfriend and girlfriend. None of that stuff. She is using those terms. He is not. That should let her know that, you know what, it's still open.
Right. But what she said was it's hard seeing him talk to other women, which I can imagine it is when it's somebody that you like. Again, but that's how this process works. But normally, in a normal situation, it wouldn't work like that. First of all, you wouldn't see the person you're talking to talking to somebody else. And it would be fine for you to kind of lock in. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so she was like, you know, it's hard for me to see you talking to other girls. It's like they come up to you being all flirtatious. And she says, I feel like you're so naive and don't understand what your country bumpkin tail. I was like, dang. See, but she didn't say tail.
She started calling names, started doing name calling, and for what reason though? See, this is where you realize that he needs to recognize, run now, dog. It's not gonna work. It doesn't work. She's calling, this name calling. Y'all not even really fully dating yet. In a long-term relationship, it's been multiple conversations, maybe out once or twice, group dates, but she's doing all this over a conversation with Sydney, who is a contestant in this game.
And come on, first of all, Cornelius is not naive. It's obvious that women are trying to talk to him and flirt because, again, that's what's supposed to be happening.
And he's entertaining it.
That's what's supposed to be happening. But she's like, oh, you so naive and you don't understand what they doing and you're feeding into it like a dummy. I'm like, God, dog. Yo. And he was looking like, you gonna call me country bumpkin, call me dumb.
Right then and there, he should have got up and left.
She was like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. And he's like, I'm not doing that. I'm doing the process. Like, I'm feeling these other women out. And she says, I'm not staying for that. And he says, in his vignette, he was very disturbed by that whole conversation and what she was doing and, you know, how she's expressing herself on, like, why are you bringing all this extra emotion? And she was like, you know, people are testing you and you're failing. You got an F right now. And you got me looking stupid. I'm embarrassed and upset, confused and mad. And she says, I give trust till it's broken. And she actually starts crying. I was like, good Lord, girl.
Manipulation at its finest.
I don't know if it's manipulation.
It's manipulation.
I'm not going to call it manipulation. I'm calling it, like, too much. You're doing too much.
She's so invested and she's manipulating him to stay with me. I'm going to make you feel bad so you don't go anywhere. I'm going to make you feel bad so you can stay with me. I
feel like everything's not manipulation. I think she just really don't know. She just said they had a conversation about boundaries, and so she don't know the boundary. So I don't think I don't see it as her trying to manipulate him to stay with her. I just think she just don't know what to do with herself.
But if they talk about boundaries, then what?
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, what conversation did y'all have?
What kind of conversation you had about the boundaries? Here are the boundaries. Here, this is what it is. And we're on this show. I'm going to mingle and talk to other people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Yeah, we see after the pool party, it's time to eat, come in, and feels like, you know, the party was fun, and now it's time to, you know, have some good food and conversation and mingle with everybody. And he's like he said before, I got to bring my A game.
Got to bring his A game.
So we see him talking to Tasia. We see Sean and Aisha talking. Frank looking on as Aisha and Sean talk. And he's kind of like, she's one of my strongest connections. I'm feeling some type of way.
He gave him the side eye, which, again, giving the side eye and keep it moving is a fine.
But his thing, he said he's not a fan of competition either. There's a lot of people on this show.
But if you ain't a fan of you know what this show is about. So why hop on the show if you're not a fan of the competition? It is a competitive show. What you thought? You can just hook to somebody? Oh, we good. We don't need y'all votes. We can just hang out all day and do what we need to do. It's just us. Just the two of us. But no, it's competition. They're going to go different people may want to talk to your girl. Different people may want to talk to your guy. But that's what you signed up for. Yeah. Or got recruited for, whichever way you're on the show. So.
And so she's chatting with Sean, and she was like, you know, I like older men. He's 44. She's just telling him a little bit about herself, how she's 3 of 8 children, and she comes from monogamy, you know, her parents, and I love being a wife, and I love being a mother. And he was like, look at how your face lights up when you talk about being a mother. She was like, my children are my everything. And, you know, she's like, I'm not bitter about the divorce. I'm not mad. I just feel like our journey came to an end. That's what happened with our divorce. And it is what it is.
Yeah, but she was excited to be with Sean. Sean hit the... his conversation with her was good. His introductory conversation with her was good. And she really appreciated it. I guess when you are a mother, you do enjoy talking about your children. You do enjoy talking about how your kids are doing and being successful. You should light up when you talk about your kids. And that's what she did. So Sean is feeling her and she's feeling him right now.
Yeah. We see Corey finally revealed to Courtney, I was the one leaving the notes. Mm-hmm. And she said it was a turn on for her because she's a hopeless romantic again. Yeah. It was sweet. She really liked it. And, you know, it was like she inspired him to go above and beyond. And this was the night for people looking on because we see Mumin kind of peeking like, what's going on over there?
What's going on over there? You spending too much time with Courtney. What's up?
Yeah, but like, okay, are you doing the same thing with another woman that you did with me, making her feel special. You know,
it bothered her.
Yeah, everybody in there, but they looked like they had a good time in there, partying and dancing. And so after that, we see Mumin and Corey meet up. Like, she was like, you know, I gotta discuss the elephant in the room. I gotta talk to him about this. And she opens up saying, Tasia called me and told me about the love note you left for Courtney.
Either Tasia being messy, or she's very concerned about her friend, and I haven't figured out which one yet.
I'm gonna say she was looking out for her friend, because everybody is getting a whiff of what's going on with Corey. Mr. Copy and Paste. Like, don't get wrapped up in him, sis, because he just... Yeah, you can't be... The thing about it is, it's okay to entertain more than one person, but you can't be telling everybody the same thing.
Everybody the same thing.
Or doing the same thing, making them feel like they're the only one when it's somebody else. Just, you know, anyway, we'll get into that.
No he's very creative with the dates, but there's no creativity when he's talking to different women.
Right.
He has to repeat himself. So he's creative when he actually goes on a date, because I think he said it before, my date game is great, or we're dating is fine. It's just the getting to that point that he struggles with.
Yeah. She said, I need to know what's up. I can't be building with someone who's not doing that with me or doing that with someone else. And so she asked him straight up about the notes. You know, was you leaving notes? And he's like, well, did you see me? Now, Corey.
Everybody else saw you, dog.
I'm not even there. I'm just like, bro, why are you evading the question? But did you see me, though? She said, no, I didn't see you, but I heard about it from several people. From several people. And he's like, okay, how am I to focus on everybody talking about these notes? Because you left the
Because you left the notes. You know what's written on the notes. You know who you left the notes for.
And because several people saw it.
You know where you planted the notes. You know who you wanted to find the notes. So you're qualified to talk about the notes.
She says he never really actually answered the question. And he was like, I didn't see this coming. It's, you know, hard to answer the question. Like, he starts deflecting. And she was like, I want to see... She's like, basically, okay, I see you not gonna give me no answer. Like if
he's dodging it. He never answered any question she asked directly when it was time for him to incriminate himself.
That was the only question.
Even when she talked about, and later on he was asked about the family and about, you know, are you serious? You want me to go see your family? Like, yeah, girl. Have you said this to anybody else? And he was like, he didn't answer.
Right.
So he deflected again. So, you know, he actually asked a couple questions there, but he deflected the questions when he didn't want to answer.
Yeah, her whole thing was, she said it's not about him seeing or dating multiple people or trying to figure out connections. It's just like, I don't want to prioritize him if he's having second thoughts or not sure or things have changed or shifted. I just need to know which way to go. And yeah, so he was like, I just need more help to see if you want to go to another level, like what you want to do. Yeah. And yeah, that's when he says, I want to take you to meet my mom and dad. And she was like, have you said this to the other women? And he actually said, I haven't lied to you once.
Which means he did. That's not the answer. He didn't answer the question again. He said, I haven't lied to you once. Well, that's not what she asked you, dog. Have you said this to the other women? Which is a direct answer, the direct question. Either it's yes or it's no. Which ticked her off a little bit more because he could not answer the question.
Yeah, she was like, my feelings were hurt. I got a decision to make. I need to figure out what to do about him. It's just crazy. But next we see some Sydney have a group date with Camille and Dante and Cornelius. They go to the selfie museum. First time I ever heard of such.
Hey,
so it's a place where you can take selfies. When she says selfie museum, I was not thinking that. So it's a place where you can take pictures, take selfies.
Yeah.
With all these different backgrounds. It was really cute though. She says a chance for them to get to know each other in a silly environment. Something that's not so, you know, stressful. See how everybody kind of feels. And Camille says Cornelius comes in and Sydney gives him this big old hug. And she's like, you know, she looking like, I don't like it.
She don't like it. She doesn't like it, but she didn't say anything though.
Yeah. Cornelius says that he's got a hangover from the pool party, and as far as it goes with Camille, and he's questioned if it's moving too fast. Why it's moving so fast. Dante is kind of feeling Sydney. He says, you know, she's beautiful. He's intrigued. And he wants to peel back these layers and see what's going on with that. And he kind of have a chat with her. She says this is the first time she's been single in a really long time. They talk about the fact that she's from Jersey and he's from Chi-Town, and how it was first moving there. He said it took some getting used to. And
but she's from Jersey by way of Chicago, so they got that Chicago connection.
Yeah. So I hate to say this, but once again, lots of folks on the DC that's not from actually DC. From DC.
They don't wear slouch socks and they don't listen to Go-Go.
Or New Balance.
It's what it is.
Or was it a PG thing? Regardless. Cornelius is talking to Kamil. He says, yesterday was chill with him, but he got that intense. It got intense. And she was like, these interactions, it's awkward, with her talking to him now after what happened the day before. It's like, it's not feeling funny. And so she has to deal with the elephant in the room. And she was like, I want to apologize because I got emotional. It got emotional. And I put you on the spot, and I'm sorry, for blowing it out of proportion.
Yeah.
And, it was like, it got uncomfortable. And he accepted her apology. And he said, that showed me a sign of maturity with her, that she knew that she was kind of out of line when it came to that. I
mean, that's fine. I accept the apology and all, but you went off for no reason. It's not like me and the girl were holding hands. Not like we were hugged up kissing. It's none of that. We were just, again, we're trying to get to know. Tommy told us to interact, to mingle. And so that's what we're doing. And so she can't be mad at that. I mean, she can be mad at that, but it's not justified.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his concern is, will I get the liberty to get to know the other young ladies? He better be possessive.
He better make the liberties, because I'm telling you, if he put all his eggs in that basket, he can go home too.
We see Aisha and Sean go out on a date.
Yeah.
And he brings her some flowers. I thought that was cute. He was like, I bought you some flowers and they smell good.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh my gosh, I haven't gotten flowers in a long time. He's like, you want me to take them back? She was like, no.
No.
But all the flowers, he had several different color roses. And they all represent something different.
Right.
And she was like, oh, you paid attention, because one flower was for her zodiac sign. And oh, you remember what it is? How did you catch that or whatever? He was like,
you said it the other day?
I pay attention.
And she was a Gemini, for those who try to figure out what it was.
And she was like, he's really showing up. And, getting all the boxes checked. He's checking a lot of boxes. Mm-hmm. And so they have a conversation, and we find out that Sean's never been married.
Nope.
He doesn't have any children. He's 44. I'm scared. I'm so honest. I'm gonna be just as candid. I'm so scared when men, God knows we know men can make babies up until they daggone 80s.
Right.
But I'm just like, who wants to, God, I don't want to offend nobody, never mind.
But again,
my daddy was 45 when I was born.
He's getting up in age, but it became an issue though. I mean, think about it, when he talked to Aisha and got to the part where they talked about kids, and she flat out asked him, basically, how about this kid thing? I already have kids. I felt like I wasn't able to do anything with my kids. Now my kids are getting older and they're getting ready to leave and they're getting ready to go. And
I'm trying to do my thing and chill out on the beach and and she's like, well, what about you wanting to have kids? And he was like, that has been a point of contention with other women I dated, particularly one woman. Like, she had a full-grown daughter. Mm-hmm. And, basically you're asking somebody with big kids to go back to diapers and formula or
her who
breastfeeding.
Her youngest, I believe, 13. So you want her to go back 13 years, let's say, to do this all over again. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but that's a red flag for her though.
Well, it's one for him.
Yeah.
Too, and really, honestly, when he asked about kids, she really did not give him an answer. Yeah. She just kind of talked around it. I think probably she didn't want to hurt his feelings, but her thing that she did say is her concern dealing with a man with no children is you know, you want your own children, but if I don't want to do that, is it gonna am I enough for you to make you happy? And then is it enough for you to kind of come into that role, you know, dealing with my children? Yeah, I was like, dang, because I was kind of liking them.
I was kind of liking them too, but it takes a good man to be able to do that, to come into that role and to be able to be a disciplinarian. I was liking them as well, but that right there has been an issue. Think about it, that's been an issue for a couple other people as well. Sabrina's been an issue for her, you know, and that was one. But there's a lot of people who have kids that don't want any more kids with the person they hook up with.
But see, that's why I'm not gonna get on my soapbox. Don't be a granddaddy father. Don't be like me. God knows I love my daddy. God rest his soul. But I sure hated when people when he used to pick me up from school and people be like, your granddaddy here to pick you up. I'm like, God, dog, that is my father.
But again,
he was older. I'm talking about, like, I'm in high school, 18. So that means what? My daddy was was he 63?
63, yeah. So but you look at that, and that's where people are at today. They don't want anybody else's kids. You don't want the drama. You don't want. There's a lot of things that go with that. So that's a whole different podcast. That's a whole different show.
We see the ladies come back to the lounge to meet with Tommy.
Yep.
And Tommy's like, Sydney, how was it? You know, is this your first weekend? She was like, the experience was a little overwhelming at the mixer, having all the guys come up to her all at once, but she kind of was able to navigate. Tommy points out the fact there's 9 men left. Mm-hmm. And so let's get to the nitty gritty. Who's in, who's out? Who you feeling, who you not feeling? And he starts with Shiloh, what's working? She was like, well, I have a connection with Phil. Yeah. You know, I'm feeling that. I also had a connection with Tyrone. Sydney interjects and like, you know, I like Dante. Mm-hmm. You know, we had the group date and, you know, the conversation just really flowed and he's my type or whatever. Yeah. And she mentioned Frank was like, you know, we had an automatic connection. And, you know, it's kind of like you and Frank, you know, she got a little bit of eyes for that. Tasia was like, I'm feeling Phil, you know. Yeah. She was surprised though about the Phil thing. She was surprised that he was kind of feeling her. Mm-hmm, so she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm feeling." Yeah, but she says it's a genuine connection and it's new to her and it's meeting her expectations. Mm-hmm. We hear Courtney mention the 2 C's. That's Corey and Cornelius. Yeah. And she said as time goes on, you know, Corey is showing her that he's a hopeless romantic, and you know, she talks about the notes that were left, and you know, she brought them with her. Yes. She brought receipts, for real receipts. And one of them was like, oh, you've been my number one since day one. And Mumin is like, what?
Yo, people start looking. He has not learned. These women talk. It's not like you in the club and you pick up this girl's number or you pick up that girl's number. You call her on Monday and Tuesday. You call her on this girl on Wednesday and Thursday. These ladies converse with each other regularly. And I guess he didn't understand. I guess he realized, don't say nothing, don't say nothing. Nah, they talk.
Right. Courtney says that Corey says that, you know, she's the main one. And, Mumin says, you know, he says that I'm the main one. And that she confronted him and asked him about the letters. Yep. And he was like, huh? What? And Courtney asked Mumin, did he say something to you about meeting his parents? And Mumin was like, yeah. Yes. The heck? And, like, you know, he told me he wouldn't have been asking me that if it wasn't serious. You know, I only take certain, you know, people to meet my, you know, and Tommy's like, well, let's shoot, I need a drink.
Yeah, he need a drink because Corey's doing too much.
Yeah, Courtney was like,
Corey is doing too much, and now these women are getting ready to, he's doing too much. You talking about woke girl. It's not like Ron last year when Ron was like, I'm taking you to go see my mom. You know?
Well, he didn't even say we found that
Yeah, we found out Chrysanthemum went to see his mom. So it's like, Corey's doing a lot.
Yeah. Courtney's like, I ain't feeling it. It's like, this is a game for you. Mm-hmm. And this is why you're single. Yep. Like, Okay, who are the ladies not feeling? Sydney says, like, and she ain't even hardly have any time, but Sydney said she's not feeling Cornelius, and Camille's like,
He said,
and one of the other ladies said it too, you know, kind of looked like.
She said Cornelius is like a little brother.
Yeah, she said she's getting little brother vibes.
Little brother vibes.
And she said, I'm not feeling Corey based on what I saw and what the other ladies are saying about him. Yeah. Zadia says, you know, Corey's a big ball of confusion. Mm-hmm. Not feeling it. Camille's like, I ain't feeling Frank.
Yeah.
Mumine says she's not feeling Sean. Shiloh says she's also not feeling Sean. And the issue with Sean is, we asked, oh, what do you do for a living? You know, how's it that you make your money? He's like, oh, I create. And it was like, I mean, what does that mean exactly? So it's like you ain't got no job. Camille said he like Tommy. He ain't got no job.
They started joking him. He like Tommy off of Martin. He ain't got no job. They started really getting into this not having a job thing because he said he creates. Create means he can write, he can draw. They said, like I said, on the screen they put in he was a journalist. So, look, if the man ain't got no job, love him anyway.
Or if he got more jobs than a Jamaican.
You can't say that anymore. We will offend somebody. I'm just joking.
This is a joke.
Just joking.
Aisha talks about the date she had with Sean. Mm-hmm. She says that he's a charmer. And, you know, her concern again was she has kids already. What she didn't say straight out to him was that she didn't want any more. And so that's an issue right there. Like, she should have just told him that straight up. She hinted around it. But Sabrina says she's not feeling Tyrone. Yeah. Because, you know, she shared, like, he told me that he wanted to focus on one person. And Shiloh came back and confirmed that. Sabrina said he wanted to focus on one person, and that is Shiloh. And Shiloh was like, yeah, he did.
He did.
And Tommy's like, well, do you think he means it? She was like, I know he's genuine. But my whole thing is that's not my process. I'm not ready to lock it in with one person right now. And she actually gets kind of teary. You know, she's like, I admire a man that knows what he wants, but I can't give him a definitive answer that fast. Like, it's a lot of pressure. Tasia said there was nothing there with Tyrone and her. Aisha said they had connected initially, but then it was like they just became cool. Probably because that's when he was like, I'm all in with Shiloh.
I'm all in Shiloh.
And so Tommy's like, okay, well, we got to take two of these men and sit and chat with them or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so we see Courtney meet up with Corey.
Well, Corey comes in already thinking he's going home anyway.
Right.
In his mind, he's like, you know what? I'm checking out of here. I'm going home. But when I come up on the hill, I get to the restaurant, I see Courtney, and he kind of let his walls down.
Yeah, he was like, oh yeah, I'm off the chopping block. I'm off the chopping block.
I'm good.
Yeah, he says initially he's like, it ain't no way I'm gonna escape elimination.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going home. But like you said, when he saw Courtney, he was like, whew, okay, it's Courtney. That's a setup, bro.
Big setup.
Then we seeing the women involved with the men having to take them out. We see Shiloh take out Tyrone.
Yeah.
And kind of same thing with him. He was like, oh, wow, this is great. We get to have our first date. They haven't even actually had a date.
Little did he know that the first date was going to be the last date.
Yeah. He got all excited. But so Courtney's like, you know, he was like, how's your day been? And Courtney says, you know, it's been a tough day.
Yeah.
You know, I got mixed emotions and everything. And she was like, straight up, my problem with you is I'm getting mixed signals from you. And, you know, the women deliberated and we get together. And she was like, you know, we was talking to the ladies. And it's like you had similar conversations with
everybody.
You know, other ladies. Like, what's up with that? And he was like, but any conversation I had with the ladies was from the heart. And, you know, I spoke my truth to everyone. And, you know, you could see Courtney like, you know.
She was getting irritated. She was getting frustrated for the fact that he went back to the point where he didn't answer questions.
Yeah. And she was like, bro, look, you lied. Mm-hmm. When you were asked, did you say this to other women? You were like, no. And you lied.
You lied.
You know, and, you know, the ladies decided you know, about guys going home, and I don't want to say that right there, but let me get to Tyrone and Shiloh. And, you know, he was excited to get time with her, but he said, I did want to respect her process. I feel like, you know, we could be there, but I know she wants to go through the process. And, you know, they have connection, and, you know, he knows what he wants. He's like, I know what I want. And she was like, I just need more time processing. I'm not moving in this thing as fast as you. You know, I'm sorry. And he was like, I understand.
But what she also said, too, it's not just me.
Right.
So she wanted to clarify that.
Right.
Even though if it was getting ready to come, it wasn't me. Mm-hmm. She kind of, I don't say she threw the women underneath the bus, but she was like, it's other people other than me. Right.
Because she got kind of choked up and emotional about it. And so to bounce from Shiloh and Tyrone back to Corey and Courtney, Courtney tells Corey, you know, the ladies decided we're going to eliminate 2 men tonight. So, doggone it, we already know both of them going home.
Both of them going home.
And so Shiloh tells Tyrone, you know, you're not ready to love. And he was like, you not understand, you know, where I'm at, I wouldn't have changed anything.
Yeah.
I don't have any regrets. You know, I still feel the same way about you. You know, I was hoping that, you know, we could do some other things, but he was like, you know, I am ready to love. Because on another season, somebody said that, because that's the tagline, that's the show.
Right.
But to say I'm not ready to love, no, it should be is like you're not ready to be on Ready to Love.
Yeah, you're not ready to be on the show. I need you to go home.
Because they're ready to love. It's just not in the way that the show is arranged or whatever. Yeah. So we see Courtney tell Corey, you're not ready to love. Mm-hmm. And he was like, you know, it's like this process was hard for him to navigate and try to get through. And
it's hard to navigate when you copy, cut, and paste, and you got all the women that you copy, cut, and pasting with in the same room. It becomes hard then because everybody's conversing. He should have learned that from the first night that he was on the chopping block, getting ready to get eliminated. Stop talking so much.
Yeah. He was like, I was hoping that you would have went to bat for me. And she was like, well, I'm going to go to bat for somebody that's going to go to bat for me.
Right.
And I see that you doing the most. Doing the most. And so she was like, I'm over it. I got to go. I'm done with this conversation.
Frustrated. And she leaves.
Wow.
She leaves. So you got Corey and Tyrone who both go home.
Mm-hmm. And so mind you, they added somebody in, so technically it would be like it was if they just eliminated one person. Yeah, still got the same number.
Still got the same number of men. So in this case, you got 2 to go home. I think that this week, I think the correct 2 went home.
We've been waiting for them to go home.
Yeah, you've been waiting for those 2,
especially Corey.
Corey been saved.
I've been waiting for Corey to go home.
Corey been saved by a couple weeks now.
That's why he knew. He knew after Mumin talked to him, was like, Tasia told me. Mm-hmm. He knew it was not gonna be good.
Yeah, he knew. And one thing I do like about, we said it about, Tyrone, that he left, he wasn't upset.
Right.
That's one thing I like. I know we mentioned it earlier, but, you know, some people get mad, get upset. Tyrone was willing to say, you know what, and still embrace Shiloh. And Shiloh, again, broke down in tears because she liked you. I really think she genuinely liked him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And genuinely want to be with him. But, hey, the women have spoken.
Yep.
So next week, it is what it is. Next week, the men will be back in charge, and a lady has to go home. I wonder if they can send 2 ladies home next week. Only time will tell. But next week, somebody has to go. A lady has to go home. We're getting closer and closer and closer to the final 3. Each and every week, somebody's going home.
Yep.
So, hey, let us know what you thought about a review. Let us know. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you won't miss any of our reviews. Ready to Love. Also, check out some of our Married at First Sight and Matrimony Thoughts videos as well. Next week, again, ladies in charge.
Can't wait to see it.
Can't wait to see it. Hey,
no, the men are in charge.
The men are in charge. The men are in charge, and a woman has to go home.
Yes.
And a woman has to go home. So that's next week on Ready to Love.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Bye.